Hey, consider doing this 5 years before you retire. Hey, if you're planning on retiring within the next 5 years or so, and you're going to rely on your investments to supplement your income, then there are some things you need to do to prepare for that, right? So let's say you've done a great job at saving and investing for retirement, and maybe you've accumulated a nice amount of money for you to retire on. But how your investments perform in the first few years of retirement, look, that can have a significant impact on how long your money will last. So what I want to do is let's look at two examples of when the market performs well in the first few years versus performing poorly. But before we do, if this is your first visit here, my name is Keith Wilson, and I run a financial planning practice helping people just like you with their financial goals. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss other videos discussing personal finance. So let's take a look at two portfolios. Here we see good old Mr. Green, who retired in an up market with $1 million. And what he's doing is he's withdrawing $50,000 per year to supplement his income. Now, as you can see here, the first few years, hey, it had some good returns, and the portfolio was still growing even after making withdrawals. Now, there were some years that saw negative returns, but even so, by age 90, the portfolio was worth over $2.5 million and averaged a 6% return. But what if we flipped the sequence of those returns? Let's look at that. Here's Mr. Brown with the same $1 million, and he's withdrawing the same $50,000 per year. But the difference is Mr. Brown retired in a down market. So you see, the first few years of his retirement saw negative returns, and this had a significant impact on the longevity of the portfolio. Even after some positive years, Mr. Brown would have run out of money by age 82 with the same rate of return over a 25-year period. So this scenario is known as sequence of returns risk. And what I'm going to do, I'll leave a link to a video that describes this more in detail right up here for you to look at. Now, while you may not have the luxury of knowing, what your returns of your portfolio would be in the first few years of retirement, because nobody's going to know, right? But here's some things that you may want to consider to alleviate this risk. Number one, when you are 5 years away from retirement, start setting aside 2 to 3 years worth of the income you will need in cash when you retire. That way, you are not relying on your investments in those first few years for income. And if you do retire in a down market, well, it can give that portfolio time to recover. Number two, take a look at how your portfolio is allocated. If it's an all-stock portfolio, you may want to consider diversifying your portfolio into some stocks, some fixed income, or bonds, and some cash. This will help reduce that possible risk. Number three, if you are already in retirement, all right, here you are, you're already in retirement, and you didn't, have that cash set aside for withdrawals, consider selling bonds or other securities that are not affected, so much by the market volatility, rather than equities or stocks that may have declined significantly. So this could avoid a double whammy of you selling at a low point at the same time withdrawing money from the portfolio. But hey, hopefully you only have one retirement, and the last thing you want is to run out of money. And if you are 5 years away from retirement, hey, listen, it's crunch time, and you really should have a plan in place to address your goals and how to accomplish achieving them. And if you feel like you need a retirement checkup, I've left a link in the description below for you to contact me and we can get together and talk about it. But hey, I hope to see you return for my next video, and please give this one a thumbs up and subscribe. It helps get the information out there. So see you next time.
Lightning strikes and then you're gonna